One morning, while eating scrambled eggs for breakfast, Chibiko started to remember how much trouble he had had when learning to cook different things. Even now, he didn't have a cookbook or a website with instructions that he could follow. He made food from his own memory. Sometimes he got things right the first time, but other recipes took many tries. There was the time when he couldn't figure out how much salt to put on his fried pork and ended up using far too much. There was the time when he didn't know how long to leave his waffles cooking for. There was also the time when he didn't know what size pot to use for his sinigang soup. And there was the incident with his attempted Sunday roast. As he finished up his breakfast, it occurred to him that the reason he had so much trouble learning to cook new things was because he wasn't very good at counting. And so, he decided to dedicate this day to get better at counting to 10. First, he tried to count his fingers. 1, 2. Well, that was easy enough. He looked around his house for other things to count. Aha! Windows! 1, 2, 3. 3 windows! He was still a few numbers away from 10, however. And so he looked around for more things. Cushions, he decided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, that wasn't a cushion. That was Danny.
What are you doing?
Danny asked. I'm practicing counting, Chibiko said. But I'm having trouble finding 10 things to count. I'm sorry that I thought you were a cushion.
It's an easy mistake to make, Danny said. My mother always said that I was a bit cushiony. Do you want me to help you find some things to count?
Yes, please, Chibiko said. Danny thought for a moment, and then he walked around Chibiko's house and collected all of the cups that had been lying around. Chibiko can be a bit messy with cups.
Here, he said. Try counting these.
Chibiko looked at the collection of cups and started pointing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9.
Wait, Danny said. You forgot 7.
Oh, Chibiko said. He started to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
Stop! Danny said. You did it again!
Did I? Chibiko asked.
You did, Danny replied. Just remember that 10 is scared of 7. Do you know why?
Why? Chibiko asked.
Because 7 ate 9, Danny answered, and then laughed so hard that he fell off of the sofa.
Chibiko didn't laugh. He was focusing very hard. He started pointing at all of the cups again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10! I did it! He beamed.
Congratulations! Danny said.
It was getting late, and the stars were coming out in the sky. Danny and Chibiko both looked out at the stars through the window. Chibiko practiced counting to 10 with the stars, and then he counted to 20, and then to 30. There were so many of them, and they were very beautiful. Although, some of them were black. Wait, no. those were ants. Chibiko sighed. He was going to have to remember to pack the sugar away, or else he would be counting to 1,000. Some time ago, when he was younger, Chibiko had decorated the walls of his house with lots of stickers. He had used all sorts of stickers. He had farm animals and dinosaurs, superheroes and racing cars, cartoon characters and different planets. His favorite one was of a manta ray that glowed in the dark at night once he had turned the lights off. The stickers were a bit old now though, and so Chibiko decided that it was about time that he peeled them off. He started with a dinosaur, but when he peeled it, oh no! He had peeled some of the paint away too. He peeled off a few more stickers, and then some more, and then even more. Each time he peeled a sticker off, he peeled some paint off as well. By the time he was finished, his wall was covered in spots where there wasn't any paint anymore. This just won't do, Chibiko thought to himself. A wall needs to be nicely painted. And so he went out to buy some paint. While at the hardware store and trying to decide if he wanted red, blue, or yellow paint for his walls, Chibiko ran into Danny.
Not sure what color you want?
Danny asked. No, I'm not, Chibiko answered. I like red because it makes me think of yummy apples and cherries. I like blue because it's like looking at the sky on a sunny day. And I like yellow because it's like sand on the beach.
Why not buy one of each and then decide when you're back in your house? Danny suggested. I can help you paint.
Chibiko was grateful for both Danny's suggestion and his offer of help. And so they bought 3 tins of paint and 2 brushes and went back to Chibiko's home together. Once they were inside, they decided that maybe they could paint different rooms in new, different colors. They painted the bedroom yellow because the sun was yellow, and a yellow room would also make Chibiko think of sunflowers. After this, they got out the red paint and started to paint Chibiko's kitchen, because red wasn't just the color of apples and cherries, but also of strawberries and rhubarb and tomato soup, and many other delicious things. Last but not least, they painted his living room blue, because it was the biggest room, and because things like the ocean are also very, very big. When they were finished, they decided that they deserved a drink of orange juice. The only problem was, Danny couldn't see Chibiko anywhere.
Where are you?
Danny asked. Over here, Chibiko replied. But when Danny looked at where Chibiko's voice had come from, he could see nothing but blue.
I can't see you,
Danny said. But I'm right here, Chibiko replied.
Let's just go to the kitchen and get our orange juice, Danny said.
When they went to the kitchen, they realized what the problem was. Chibiko had painted himself blue. All of that painting in different colors had made him confused. Let's just paint the rooms again tomorrow. Maybe to the same colors that they were before we started, Chibiko said, as he put some ice into 2 glasses to make sure that their juice would be nice and cold. Chibiko was bored. He sat on the sofa, stared at the wall, and sighed. He had spent the whole afternoon watching TV, and it wasn't even good TV. It was boring TV. He had been watching the television simply because he couldn't think of anything more interesting to do than watching television. And now he was wishing that he hadn't spent so much time watching. He could have drawn some pictures, or learned to cook something new, or tried to play the guitar. The only problem was, he didn't know what he wanted to draw, whether he wanted to make a green curry or perhaps bake a cake, or indeed what song he wanted to play. Perhaps I could go somewhere, he thought to himself as he got up and looked out of his window. But the afternoon was growing late, and the moon was now already faintly visible in the sky. It would soon be nighttime, and the night was too dark for Chibiko to comfortably go out and about. He looked back at his sofa. He looked out of the window again, and then he had an idea. Chibiko picked up his phone and called Danny. "Are you free tomorrow?" he asked. "I have an idea for something we can do." Chibiko went to his storeroom and got all of the empty cardboard boxes that he could find. He then made a simple dinner for himself that may have contained a few too many onions, and then he went to bed. He was looking forward to what he and his friend would do the following day. The next morning, Chibiko woke up the second his alarm sounded. He was very excited. He took a shower, ate breakfast, and brushed his teeth. Then, his doorbell rang. Danny had arrived exactly on time.
What are we doing?
Danny asked. "Follow me," Chibiko said, and led his friend to the pile of boxes. "Can you help me bring these out to the backyard?" he said. And so, Danny and Chibiko spent the morning moving boxes to Chibiko's backyard and arranging them. They took a break to eat lemon-flavored cookies and drink mango lassi. And then in the afternoon, they moved the sofa. It was very heavy, but Chibiko promised that it would be worth the effort. At last, they were done. "We did it!" Chibiko exclaimed.
Did what?
Danny asked. "Look!" Chibiko said, pointing to the body of boxes surrounding his sofa. "We built a spaceship!"
Wow,
Danny said.
Can we ride it?
"Of course we can," Chibiko replied. And so, as the afternoon turned to evening and the moon slowly rose in the sky, Chibiko and Danny sat comfortably on the sofa of their very own spaceship and went on a space adventure together. It was a beautiful day, nice and warm and not a cloud in the blue sky. Actually, that's not quite right. It was clear and sunny, but there was at least a cloud in the sky. In fact, Chibiko could see a total of 3. Still, 3 clouds is pretty good, and these were friendly, fluffy white clouds. Chibiko stood out behind his house and watched them while enjoying the sunlight. After staring at them for a bit, he couldn't help but notice that they were forming together into something that looked a lot like an ice cream cone. Ice cream! Ice cream would be a perfect snack for a day as pleasant and warm as this one. Chibiko went inside and opened his freezer. To his disappointment, there was no ice cream left inside it. And so, he also checked in the closet, behind his television, and even inside a shoe. But there was no ice cream to be found. Never mind, he thought to himself. It's such a nice day. I'm sure that they're selling ice cream in the park. And it's a perfect day to take a walk. And so, Chibiko went out, locked the front door, and walked to Button Park. Sure enough, there was ice cream for sale at the park. Chibiko walked up to the cart. "Hello," said the ice cream salesperson. "What will you have today?" Chibiko stared at the list of flavors. It was really long, and thought out loud about all of the flavors that he might like on his cone. Ooh, chocolate, strawberry, mango, bubblegum, banana would be good, caramel swirl, double chocolate, melon mix, green tea, cheese, cookies and cream, passion fruit. Oh wow, I have to try the hamburger flavor, but also stewed apple, maple syrup, ooh, and crispy mint chip. "Here you go," he heard a voice say. Chibiko looked up at the salesperson. He hadn't realized that he had been speaking out loud the whole time, and now he had accidentally ordered 16 different flavored scoops of ice cream. "Thank you," he said nervously, and took the very tall ice cream cone. Chibiko's ice cream really was very tall, and he had to walk very carefully. At least it was a nice day to walk. The sun was out, the clouds were fluffy, and birds were chirping. A lot of birds, in fact. As he walked, Chibiko decided to count each one he saw fly by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, 10 already. Wait, no. 11, 12, 13. Almost home. 14. 15! Wow, thought Chibiko. 15 birds. He dug out his key, opened his door, and went through to his backyard to eat his ice cream. It was only then that he realized that he didn't have 16 flavors any longer. All he had was 1 scoop of chocolate ice cream. Oh well, he thought to himself, 16 scoops is too much for just me anyway. And so he enjoyed eating his scoop of chocolate ice cream. In the near distance, he could make out some slightly round-looking birds sitting in the tree beside his house. Chibiko woke up feeling excited. This was because he had dreamed that he was surfing. In his dream, he was very good at it. He had a cool mustache, wore cool sunglasses, and he rode big waves and did cool tricks with whales and dolphins. He thought about surfing as he took a shower. He thought about surfing as he ate some eggs for breakfast. He was still thinking about surfing while he was brushing his teeth. Eventually, Chibiko decided that he should go to the beach. It was a lovely, warm day after all. And so, he left his house, got on the bus, and rode to Bear Bells Beach. Luckily for Chibiko, it was still nice and sunny when he got to the beach, but it also wasn't very crowded. Chibiko put on some sunscreen and then went over to the small set of shops to borrow a surfboard. While he had dreamed of surfing like a pro, since this would be his first time to try surfing for real, the woman at the store also gave Chibiko some floaties to wear while he was in the water. Chibiko said thanks and then rushed out in such excitement that he almost toppled over someone's sandcastle. "Oops, sorry," Chibiko said. "It's okay. Please just be careful," said the children who were working on what was looking like it would become a very big sandcastle by the end of the day. "Are you going surfing?" "Yup," Chibiko said, his voice bubbling with pride and excitement. "That's so cool," one of the kids replied. "Surfing looks like fun, but also kind of scary." "Are you good at surfing?" another kid asked. "I don't know," Chibiko said. "This is my first time." "Good luck," the kids all said together. "Let us know how hard it is." Chibiko waved to the kids as he ran off to the water. "Ah!" he thought once he reached it. "It's cold!" After a couple of minutes, he got used to the water's temperature and so waded out deeper and climbed onto his surfboard. He rolled off 2 seconds later. Splash! Surfing in real life was much harder than it had been in his dream. Chibiko climbed back on and tried to stand up. A wave came and flipped him headfirst into the water. Splash! Chibiko climbed on again, and this time held on tight to his surfboard. Many waves came and splashed him around, but he didn't let go. He wondered if he looked silly, but at least he was having fun. Soon, Chibiko's arms got tired just as a big wave was coming. It threw him and his surfboard so far that he almost landed on the sand. He decided that it was time to return the surfboard and ride the bus back home for dinner. He picked up his board and walked back to the store, past the children who had now built a massive, spectacular sandcastle. "How is surfing?" they all asked at once. "It's pretty difficult," Chibiko told them. "But I did get this cool mustache," he said, pointing to the seaweed that had become stuck to his face.